This is Ziggy Berkeley, and you are listening to yet another awesome podcast on the Four-Eyed Radio Network. And hey, when you're done here, if you like James Bond 007, why not check out my podcast, Her Majesty's Secret Podcast, with new episodes dropping every other Monday on The Fern. And if you're really into James Bond, you can enter the Dial a Henchman contest. Want to know more? Go to hermajestyspod.com/contest, and you could win something from the James Bond 007 universe. Meanwhile, enjoy the show.
Starfleet Escape Podcast. Prepare for launch in 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the ride.
Welcome to the Starfleet Escape Podcast on the Four-Eyed Radio Network, where we escape into the Star Trek universe. This is episode number 36, and is being recorded on March 19th, 2014. Today's topic, Star Trek Continues, Episode 2. I'm Eric.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Ashley. This episode is brought to you by Raven Designs. Illustrations and designs that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com. Woohoo!
Hello.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Indeed.
That's how we like to start off the Starfleet Escape Podcast, with a woohoo!
Exactly.
We're back.
We're back. For those of you who don't know, Ashley here.
Hello.
She was on our
Supplemental.
supplemental not too long ago. She's also my fiance.
Woohoo.
You just roped her into this.
And she's here to help us with our discussion on Star Trek Continues Episode 2.
And actually, you are a relatively new comer to Star Trek.
Yes, indeed.
And that was all Aaron's idea?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
When I was a kid, my mom got me some Barbies that were the Star Trek, and I did.
Oh, the original series ones?
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were.
But I did watch
remember.
a couple of episodes when I was a kid, but
Mhm.
I didn't really get too into it. But then when I met Aaron, we watched more.
Oh, cool.
So
A lot
I
more.
Started to like it. I still do, and will always be a fan of Kirk. I don't care what anybody says.
She says that because I'm not a fan of Kirk.
No lies.
Well, Aaron, you're more of a Picard guy, anyways.
Yeah. Yes, indeed I am.
And he has a shirt, a Star Trek shirt, why Kirk is better than Picard.
Yeah,
10 reasons.
10
I
reasons.
think.
But that's because they don't have, or they didn't have, 10 reasons why Picard's better than Kirk.
Yeah, lies.
It was a Star Trek shirt.
I saw those at Target.
Yeah, that's where I got it.
That's where I got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a Star Trek shirt. It had Picard on it, or did it?
Yes,
I don't
it did.
remember.
It had Picard's face, I think.
I think it has both their faces, and the list
Yeah.
is in the middle. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's why Kirk is better than Picard. Duh.
There's 10 whole reasons.
Exactly.
So,
How are you, Eric, this week?
I'm doing good. It's just another week in the old Barry household, I guess. I don't know. No, just kind of doing my thing with the podcast. I recorded like a few other podcasts recently. I was on Socially Awkward a couple Fridays ago.
Right.
I heard.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty good.
Yes.
and we
It was
just
alright.
yeah.
I
and
guess
last
it's because you didn't talk about Star Trek, Aaron.
oh.
Oh.
I don't know. But then we recorded our new episode for Ranger Command last night. And,
Awesome.
Yeah, so big things are happening, I guess. If
Mhm.
Podcasting is a big thing. So
Yeah, it's at least for us it is, right?
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
And I hope Ashley will enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. I like talking.
I think that's why anyone who gets into podcasting, I think they just like hearing themselves talk. I know I do.
I don't like the sound of my voice. I just like to talk.
I've gotten used to the sound of my voice, especially when you have to edit an episode.
Uh-huh.
You're like, oh, okay, shut up.
That's what I sound like, really?
Yeah. Anyways. How about some news?
Yes. Star Trek Online is now available on the Mac. So Mac users finally have the chance to play Star Trek Online.
Woohoo!
And we still haven't touched the game.
We haven't, and we're PC users.
So we have no excuse.
No excuse whatsoever.
Isn't the game like 4 years old now? I think it's been out a while.
Yeah, we just, in our last episode that we recorded together, we talked about that.
Yeah.
With Tuvok, Tim Russ being on.
Tim Russ reprising his role as Tuvok.
Right. Yeah.
It's amazing how much support this game is getting, and it continues to like have a really strong audience. So they must be doing something right.
Yeah, especially since they've gone free to play.
Yeah, I think they're definitely following the World of Warcraft model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because the Lord of the Rings game also went free to play.
Oh, cool.
For those of you who don't know.
I don't have the time to get sucked into those types of things.
Yeah, I feel like they would be very time-consuming.
I mean, I play video games, and sometimes when I get into a video game, you know, I get so focused in tunnel vision, but, you know, I've got other stuff going on.
Right. Speaking of video games, have you finished the Star Trek game?
No, because I'm waiting for us to finish our team up.
Yes, we'll have to do that.
I've been waiting to finish it. I'm like, oh, I wonder when Aaron's gonna... Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and you guys
like 2 days ago or so was the first time I have turned it on the Xbox in like a long time.
Oh, okay.
But see, the reason is because we just got a new TV that has a smart TV that has Netflix and Hulu.
So it's like, I don't even need this stupid thing.
So I don't need to turn on any consoles.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I can control it with my little...
With your mind?
Oh, I wish.
mind meld.
You can talk into the remote for it, but it's not as good as Kinect. I must say that.
Boom.
It doesn't recognize like anything I'm saying.
Well, it does recognize my voice. I
No,
don't know
see,
about yours.
the problem is you have to say a specific set of commands the correct way. Otherwise, it's like, screw you, I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, why don't we go to the next news topic here?
Evidence of the Big Bang has been discovered. Astronomers have found the first direct evidence of cosmic inflation, the theorized dramatic expansion of the universe that put the bang in the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago, new research suggests. I've been hearing a lot about this.
Yeah.
And it's pretty incredible. I saw a video that one of the researchers that found these gravitational waves, they actually went to the person that originally theorized this. It went to their house and kind of broke the news to him. And it was a pretty emotional event. Right. And I think it's great to see, you know, a scientist who theorized something 50 years ago finally be justified with physical proof. I feel that's something we don't get to see a lot of in today's world. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited about it. Put some of those creationalists in their place.
Put those guys in their place. Yeah. Oh, speaking of kind of something related, have you guys been watching the new version of Cosmos?
Yes.
I have to catch up on the most recent episode, but I watched the first episode. It's great.
Yeah, it is good. I saw the first and second with Aaron.
Now, did you guys ever watch the original Carl Sagan Cosmos, like from the 70s?
No.
I saw pieces of them.
It's
I don't.
It's all on Netflix.
Oh, it is.
It's a mini series, much like what they're doing now, and it was really good. So I highly suggest the old and the new version. Add it to the queue.
Star Trek got tractor beams right. turns out the trick is in the angle of the beam. And Star Trek did a pretty good job representing what the real tractor beam could look like. Yeah,
I saw this article, and it's pretty cool that scientists are like, oh yeah, the shape of it, and I guess it's the triangular shape of the beam that I guess is the right angle for something like that to physically be possible, I guess.
Yeah.
So, cool. I hope we get tractor beams soon.
Yeah, totally.
That'd be so awesome.
And then work on transporters and replicators. And
Yes!
We'll
Then
see.
you don't have to go anywhere.
well, then I don't have to get stuck in an hour-and-a-half commute. Go a mile.
That too. But make sure you're dressed.
Or then your clothes don't get lost in the transporter bin.
Right?
Hey guys, I'm at work. Oh crap!
All I can think of is that scene from Spaceballs when Mel Brooks is beamed in backwards
Yes.
with his head on backwards.
I don't know if I
Snotty.
would want to be one of the first to try the transporter.
No,
I'll wait for a few people to go in first.
Maybe for an upgrade.
Grade version 2.0 of the transporter.
Right.
Yes.
So, this is kind of incredible. As we mentioned before, Star Trek Axanar, we had a show with Alec Peters fairly recently. Their Kickstarter surpassed their $10,000 goal. And as of this recording, have a total of $44,697 pledged, with 1,043 backers. And they still have 11 days to go.
Holy mackerel.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
And this isn't even their main Kickstarter. This is
Right.
for prelude to Axanar. Their little thing before they kick the big Kickstarter off. So it's awesome. And anyone who pledges now, you're already guaranteed to have 2 of the stretch goal prizes added to your donation. So, and if they meet their $50,000 goal, you get a third thing for free. So
Mackerel.
Nice.
it's a good deal.
Yeah.
I pledged like $75.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
You want that free thing, huh?
I
Well, it's
I
not,
want
it's not
all
really
of the
free
well, yeah.
if you're given $75.
Yeah.
But still, the amount of stuff that you get, I mean, you're getting the DVD, you're getting posters, you're getting patches and all this stuff. It's pretty cool.
No, it definitely is.
Hey.
If I had money, I would back them. I still love you though, Star Trek Axanar. I still love you.
At least
Have you
one
seen
person in this book. No.
Have you seen their tunics that they're designed?
They look really cool.
They do look cool.
And the main Kickstarter will have, you can, at one of the levels, you'll be able to have one of those tunics for your own.
Well, I hope I have money then,
That would be nice.
because I like those things. I like uniforms.
Yeah. Well,
Uniforms are really cool.
in the Kickstarter, if they reach 50,000, one of the levels you get a patch.
Mhm.
Well, if they reach their $50,000 goal, you get a second patch. It's like a different mission patch. So 2 patches.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool as well.
So you can check them out, and we've got the links in the show notes. Or you can just go to Kickstarter and look up Axanar.
Right.
Very nice.
Next, I found this story as it happened.
Yep.
William Shatner briefly deactivated his Twitter account for a day on March 12th, and then reactivated it the next day. I have no idea what was up with that, but he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm just gonna say goodbye to everyone, and I'm stepping away and shutting down my Twitter." And then the next day he was back on it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure
That's weird.
for that time that he was gone, he probably got more mentions during that time than
Right.
any other time that he's been on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah, I think he actually gained a lot of followers from that.
I'm sure he did.
Probably.
I personally didn't really care once I heard. I was like, oh, let me see. Oh, okay. Then I was like, oh, Leonard Nimoy's still there, right? Oh, okay, good. I'm okay.
He just wanted to make sure Spock was still there.
Spock is Star Trek. You can't have Star Trek without Spock.
Oh.
Or Kirk.
No, you can have it without Kirk.
Kirk.
There was
You gotta have Kirk.
there was a like a behind the scenes documentary thing of Star Trek 2.
Yes.
And the director said you can't have Star Trek without Spock.
Oh, in regards to killing him off?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think that was revealed, though. That was still kind of...
We didn't have Spock in Voyager, and that did just fine. Or Enterprise. Shut up.
Or
well,
TNG.
We did have Spock in TNG.
We did.
Oh.
She hasn't seen that.
Oh, okay. Oh, spoilers. Spock is in TNG. Or Deep Space Nine. He's not in Deep Space Nine.
It would have been better if he was. But see, he still existed. He still existed.
Yeah, he's still in that time frame.
Yeah.
But now he's back in the past in a alternate dimension now. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks, JJ.
Shatner has a new reality series in the works on the DIY network and will be called The Shatner Project. The show will be about house renovations.
Are you kidding me?
I discovered this today because I was like, wow, I have a lot of stuff about William Shatner. Let me see if there's anything else I can find. And I went to Trek Today. If any of you guys listening have never been there, great source.
Great news source.
Yeah, check them out. Tons of updated information, regular basis. Check them out; they're awesome.
I've probably used Trek Today for like the last 15 years. Seriously, they're pretty cool. Anyways, why? I don't get this.
Why not? Right? Why not?
Hey, it's
And it's all about him and his wife Liz redoing their 1970s style California home. Like, who cares? I don't
know. Maybe leaving Twitter was a promotional stunt to get people to see this.
Maybe.
That's all I can think of.
It is called The Shatner Project, you know? Come on.
Well, it's not like they're renovating him.
Maybe they should.
Darn.
Maybe they should.
Oh, that's cool, I guess. I mean, I don't have cable, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, even if I had this channel, he's not going to draw me to watch it.
Yeah, like I really don't care about his house.
Yeah.
Or fixing it. Like, ooh, I get to see where Captain Kirk takes a dump. Like, I don't care.
Yes!
Unless he had showed off a ton of awesome Star Trek stuff, behind the scenes Star Trek stuff.
Yeah, if there was some kind of tie to that, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that. It's only 6 episodes long, and they're 30 minutes each. They're going to be just talking about his house.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, hey, here's my Star Trek stuff.
Hey, let's knock
be.
down this wall and rebuild it.
And in other William Shatner news...
This is a lot of Shatner, I'm just saying.
Yes.
He's going to be 83.
That's crazy.
On March 22nd. He was born in 1931.
Dang, he's old.
What? A nice observation, Ashley. But you know what? He does not look 83 at all.
No, he doesn't.
He looks like he's in his late 60s. Really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's kept himself up well.
Yeah.
And
good
for him.
Whereas I think Leonard Nimoy definitely shows his age.
Yeah, well, he's also sick.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to be insensitive.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Shatner for 83 years old. I hope I look that good when I'm 83.
George Takei looks awesome too.
Yeah.
Takei, sorry, George Takei. He looks
Takei
awesome.
rhymes with
toupee.
okay.
Or toupee.
Or toupee.
Haha, William Shatner. So more Kirk news. Ashley, why don't you take this?
Okay.
Why don't I take one? It's my turn. We're doing the round table.
All right, go ahead.
God.
She likes Kirk.
Okay, Ashley, I'll take the last one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Chris Pine has been charged and fined for drunk driving in New Zealand.
What?
Yeah. His New Zealand driver's license was also revoked for 6 months. What? Really?
Wow.
It seems like something a young James Kirk might do.
Possibly. I'm reading this article.
Mhm.
According to Pine, he had this wording. He had imbibed 4 vodka drinks that evening.
What? That's not Kirk.
His blood alcohol level was 0.11%, which is over New Zealand's permissible level of 0.08, which is a pretty common
Right.
level. But wow.
Damn it, Jim.
No, Kirk.
Damn it. And his lawyer told the judge that Pine acknowledged he made the wrong decision to drive that night. She said her client had suffered emotionally and professionally, and that the negative publicity had put his acting contracts in jeopardy, and said that he was entirely remorseful. Wow.
That's unfortunate.
Well, at least he did it in New Zealand, and not in the U.S.
He still has Star Trek 3 coming up.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, and the last line of this article says, after his hearing, Pine signed autographs for some fans before being driven away at the courthouse. They're like, we love you, Kirk! Sign our stuff before you're taken away. Anyways. Next up, Risa. Risa is a Star Trek social media website designed and built by Star Trek fans. It allows fans to communicate in a social media platform to express their feelings and share their stories. The idea behind this website is to create one social platform where all fans can come together to share their stories and meet new people. Risa utilizes the best features of Facebook and Twitter and combines them with some more features specific to the network. They are quoted as saying, we're constantly working on the network to make it better, and we are supported by donations from its users and advertisement. We have some exciting ideas for the future, and we would love to see as many users as we can on the network sharing in all things Trek. So that seems pretty cool, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Social networks are very popular nowadays. So it's good to have possibly a new venue for our Trek fans to congregate on the internet.
I like that it's specifically for Star Trek fans. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes my friends on Facebook probably get tired of me talking about Star Trek or...
Yeah, I'm sure they blocked me by now. Like, forget this guy.
Star Trek? Anyways.
I wish he posted more about Power Rangers.
Oh, get out of here.
No. Come on.
Hey, it's quite popular.
Why
Excuse
do you
me.
knock down the Star Trek universe? There could be millions and billions and trillions of people.
That's why we have a Star Trek podcast.
Yes.
Oh.
To
I'm just saying,
reach out to all those
most of my
people.
friends don't like Star Trek.
You're hanging with the wrong crowd, buddy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's like maybe 10 people that like Star Trek. The rest are like, whatever.
I think I have
Why do I know you?
about 5 or 6 friends that like Star Trek.
Oh,
On
do they
my
listen
Facebook.
to the Starfleet
I
Escape
have no
Podcast on
idea.
the 4-Eyed Radio Network?
I don't know. I post it on Facebook. I don't know if they listen.
You do know it's where we escape into the Star Trek universe.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Every other Monday
tell
on
me
the...
more.
Well, it's every other Monday on the 4-Eyed Radio Network.
Oh, please, do tell me more.
That's it. That's all we got.
No, yeah,
Darn.
that's a plug. So next, would you buy it?
Now, would you buy this, Eric?
I would if I had the money for such an item.
Ashley?
It is cool, however, not for that price that they're looking for.
I would if it included something, which it does not include, which I will talk about in a second.
Okay.
But this item is Captain Picard's jacket, his alternative uniform that he wore in episodes like Darmok. So this is from Inovos, and it is going to sell for $300.
Ouch!
It's available for pre-order
Wait.
right now, where it's slightly cheaper if you get in early enough.
And this is one of my favorite outfits of Picard,
Mhm.
but it looks like this design does not include the gray undershirt underneath.
exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Because this would look retarded without it. I mean, the gray thing is part of the jacket.
Right. It's because I liked that under one because it had like a turtleneck almost.
And it continues the patterning of the jacket, so it looks like it's one piece.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a missed opportunity.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to say. You stole my thunder.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Don't be ashamed, Eric. Don't
Now,
be ashamed.
Has anyone actually commented on the missing shirt?
I haven't seen any comments, but I haven't searched for any.
Well, just looking on their site, it looks like they've sold out of Tier 1 and Tier 2.
Okay.
So they've at least sold 35 jackets already at the pre-ordered price. So,
$300?
I wonder how this would look on a standard Starfleet uniform.
I don't know. I think that'd be too much red in the front. That's why I like the gray shirt, because it kind of breaks it up a bit.
Right.
I like that.
But I'm not a fashion designer.
Well, I don't think Ashley... Let me open the link here.
Yeah, I would want the shirt.
Oh, I see where you're talking about the gray and the thing. Yeah.
See, she hasn't seen any episodes with Picard wearing this uniform.
And that's the thing. He always wore that unzipped.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the prototype zipped up all the way, it just looks weird, because that's not how I remember it.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. I don't understand. I don't even think the original zipped, but I could be wrong. But
yeah, I don't
know.
I don't see zippers. But the thing about Star Trek wardrobe design, Roddenberry was very keen on having like hidden zippers and hidden buns, so it looked like everything was, futuristic. He didn't want zippers. He didn't want buttons to make it look like everything was just like.
But yeah, so I mean, if it included that, but I'm sure that would jack the price up considerably if they had the undershirt.
Yeah, but to me, it's like it's one of those you have to have.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other.
Right.
But
couldn't you just wear your own gray shirt?
But I don't have a gray shirt that looks that cool and that has the turtleneck thingy.
Yeah.
Well, you could.
And then you would need to get the pips.
Oh my goodness.
It would have to be the 4 pips because there's no way anyone besides the captain would be wearing this uniform.
Oh yeah, he's rocking that with his bad self. So
that's what I was going to mention, that there were no pips on the thing, on the jacket.
Right, it would be worn on the turtleneck underneath.
Oh, I see.
Anyways, we're not buying it, but maybe you can.
Maybe in the future, if they have a gray shirt, right, Eric?
See, if they had the gray shirt, that would seal the deal for me. Yeah. Honestly, it would. So.
But for that price, though?
Yeah, I'd totally wear that. I would rock that at conventions.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely at a convention. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not many people would have this.
Exactly.
True.
Unless they made it themselves,
but then it wouldn't be accurate to the show.
Right, in homemade uniforms.
You know what? It could be better.
No.
No.
It would not be better. Have you ever seen some of these? Not to knock on, Star Trek.
Yeah, what are you doing? There's a lot of creative Star Trek cosplayers out there.
Actually, some designs that people come up with, like their own designs, look pretty good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That aren't official designs, but anyway, why don't we move on into the actual topic of the show?
Okay, fine.
And warning, this podcast contains spoilers for the Star Trek Continues episode, Lolani. So watch the episode before you listen, or if you...
or maybe pause...
Late.
maybe pause the podcast right now and watch it, and
then
come back and listen.
Yeah.
Listen to our thoughts on it. So when did this premiere, Aaron?
So the world premiere of episode 2, Lolani, was held at the Dallas Sci-Fi Expo on February 8th, 2014. The series continues the 5-year mission of the Enterprise under the command of Ashley's favorite captain,
Captain Kirk! Yeah, buddy!
Yeah, Kirk! So we've reviewed the first episode of Star Trek Continues on another one of our episodes.
Right.
And I'm glad we're continuing this, like Star Trek Continues. because because this was a really good one.
It was.
Yes.
So most of the actors that were in the first one reprised their roles, except for the person
Chekhov?
who played Chekhov. He was absent from this episode, but will be returning in the third episode.
Woohoo!
So says their Facebook page. And if you haven't been on the Star Trek Continues Facebook page, I suggest you follow them, because they continue to post pre-production and post-production photos.
It's very interesting to see a fan-run production like this, and to see the behind the scenes. It's really interesting, and they're doing some of the most professional-looking work for a fan production that I've seen.
I agree, and the sets are amazing.
Yeah, and we've talked about this on our first episode review. It looks like I'm watching a 1960s Star Trek episode. So let's run down the cast and crew.
Let's. So.
Yes. I'm gonna take this one.
Thank you.
So Vic Mignogna reprises his role as Captain Kirk. He's been in countless film and stage productions, and he's a very renowned voice actor, known mainly in anime circles. I actually met him at a couple anime conventions, and he's really one of the nicest people that I've ever met. He's generally great, and he takes the time to talk with fans. And he is one of the hugest Trekkies around. He has an extensive Star Trek collection that he shared some video of one of the times I saw him at one of the conventions. So he knows what he's talking about when he talks Star Trek. And he hasn't just played Kirk. He's been other characters in other Star Trek fan productions, like Star Trek Phase 2 and a couple of other ones.
Yeah, he's going to be in Star Trek Renegades.
Yes.
As a Cardassian.
And he played in Phase 2, he was an Andorian commander, I think.
Oh, very cool.
And yeah, and he's also played a Klingon as well.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
So
obviously, we wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah, and his performances are, like, you can't even tell that it's him. Like, when I was watching, I think it was the Phase 2, and I was watching the episode where he's a Klingon, and at first I couldn't tell that it was him. It wasn't just that he was all in makeup. Like, his voice is different.
So he took on the persona of a Klingon.
Yeah, he was really good in that. So
nice.
And I think he completely nails down Kirk.
You know what? There are times, not when the camera's right on his face, but when he slightly turns, it's eerie how much he looks like Kirk.
Yeah, it really is.
What?
And his inflections, and he's really nailing down that Star Trek Shatner without being a parody of it.
Right.
It's his own version, so I think he does a great job.
Yeah, I thought it was very good.
Next, we have Todd Haberkorn.
Yeah.
See, now I can't pronounce that.
Yes.
Haberkron.
Todd Haberkorn. And he plays Mr. Spock. Yeah, sorry we butchered that. He is a writer, director, producer, and actor. And like Vic, he's done a lot of voice acting work in anime and other films. And he is a regular on the convention circuit.
Ah, very nice.
Next we have Larry Nemeczek as Dr. McCoy. And he's a convention speaker. He's involved in Star Trek documentaries. He's an author. I recommend that you guys follow his Twitter and Facebook page. It's he posts.
It's filled with Star Trek goodness.
Exactly. Good way to put it.
Star Trek.
Next person is Chris Doohan as Scotty. He is the son of James Doohan.
Yep. And so that is James Doohan is Scotty.
In the original series.
In the original series. So this is his son
yes.
that's playing Scotty.
Yes.
He's reprising the role.
And
Aw.
I'm really glad that they have him doing that because he's really paying a tribute to his father, and he does a damn good Scotty.
He does.
He kind of looks like his father a lot.
Well, I would hope so, since it's his son.
See, I didn't think so in the first episode for some reason, but this episode I felt more of a connection to the original Scotty.
Next, we have Grant Imahara as Sulu. He's known as one of the Mythbusters, and he's worked for Industrial Light and Magic with animatronics, model making, and special effects.
Huh.
We didn't get to see much of Sulu in this episode, unfortunately.
No.
Right.
But we got to see a lot of him in the first episode.
Yeah.
So
actually, a lot of the secondary crew members we didn't see much of.
yeah.
Like Kim Stinger, who plays Uhura. We didn't see much of her at all.
No.
Just a couple times on the bridge.
Right, and the voiceover on the comms.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's an actress that has appeared in Bold and the Beautiful and several other roles. And she's played Uhura in episodes 4 through 8 of Star Trek Phase 2, a similar production.
Yeah, I also highly recommend that as well. That was the production that Vic played a Klingon in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I feel like there've been so many of them. It's been so long since I've seen any of those.
I definitely suggest catching up on those because they're getting just as good as Star Trek Continues. I think they're on that same level.
Like we mentioned, Chekhov was not in this episode, but he'll be returning in the 3rd episode.
Michelle Speck as Elise
McKenna. Michelle
partner
Speck.
of Vic. Oh, jeez. Mignana.
Vic
The guy who plays
Mignogna.
Kirk.
Yes, the guy who plays Kirk.
Sorry, Vic.
But Vic. Hello, Vic. Sorry.
And Rao.
Yeah, she's attractive.
Okay.
You can't say that without getting punched in the face.
She is the second most attractive redhead that I've seen in Star Trek.
Who's the first?
Dr. Crusher.
Oh.
Yeah, I could see that.
We'll get into the episode, but I really like the interaction that her and Kirk had in this episode.
Right.
It's pretty funny.
Definitely.
That was amusing.
Next, we have Fiona Vroom as Lolani, the title character of this episode.
Mhm.
Fiona Vroom is an actress and writer known for The True Heroines from 2011, Under the Bridge of Fear 2013, and she's also been a guest on the series Supernatural in 2005. So I thought she was excellent in this.
Next, kind of a guest star whose role was kind of hidden until the release of the episode. Lou Ferrigno as Zamin Han. So he's known as the Incredible Hulk. He is once again green, playing in Orion.
I really liked him in this episode.
No, I
It
did
was
too.
good. It was good.
Yeah.
He did a very, very good job.
No, it's weird. The only things I know him from is the Incredible Hulk, where he had no speaking,
No lines, right.
and then the comedy show King of Queens, where he played himself as the next door neighbor.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. So I haven't really seen much of his range. So I was surprised when I saw this episode.
Yeah, me too. His performance was excellent. He's actually huge on the convention circuit. You can probably find him every other weekend at a convention. So he gets out there a lot on the con circuit. I haven't met him personally, but I know he does a lot of the Wizard World conventions and a lot of smaller ones too. So
Cool.
yeah.
Next person, we have Erin Gray as Commodore Gray. Known to many fans as what?
Colonel.
Wilma Deering in the 1979 television revival of Buck Rogers in the 25th century. And I can read. Yeah.
Oh, it's a trait you share with Aaron.
Oh.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah.
So Eric won't be with us. Just kidding.
Next, we have Matthew Ewald as crewman Kenway.
Oh.
He's an actor and writer known for Gallo, Defenders of the Outer Dimension,
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Killer Flood, The Day the Dam Broke, 2003, and Terminal Error, 2002. But, yeah.
These were from his IMDb page.
Ooh.
Okay.
So yeah, and I think it was either him or this next guy, Daniel Logan, as Ensign Tonga.
Tongaro.
Tongaro.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But
dude.
this ensign was the one that was on the bridge taking
Right.
Chekhov's place.
Right. It's either him or the other one. We had the same birthday, except different years. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Thanks for
but-
bringing it up.
Yeah, but Daniel Logan, he was actually Boba Fett in Star Trek. Star Trek.
Wow.
What?
Attack of the Clones.
Well, he was Boba Fett. He was the little kid.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Jango
When did
Fett
that come
was
out?
his dad. Oh God, a while ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I guess so. I guess he grew up.
Yes, most people do.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. Oh yeah, because the guy who played Anakin, he's like
Old.
older now. He's not old.
Huh.
It's just I don't know. And once you see them on film, you're like, oh, they're gonna stay that age for the rest of their lives.
Right. Well, they're not.
They're not. So that was the cast.
It's a great cast.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the major players. There are other cast members, but these are the major players in the episode. So, Lolani. This episode starts with the Enterprise responding to a Tellarite ship in distress. They discover an Orion slave girl who has been sold to a Tellarite. The three-man crew of the ship are dead, leaving the Orion, Lolani, the lone survivor. And then the crew of the Enterprise find themselves in a moral dilemma when her previous owner comes back to claim her.
I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it brought up a lot of great points for slavery
Mm-hmm.
and also, the abuse. And I mean, it was very like, whoa, the whole episode. And she wasn't completely innocent herself
No.
as well. Like she was defending herself, but she was also very manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that partially that's a defense mechanism. She was just trying to escape her situation. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely brought up issues with slavery and the sex trade.
Yeah.
As we know, like the sex trade's still around in the 21st century, black market, and we see from another point of view, what's great with Star Trek is that you can take something, and if you set it in this future with aliens, it's completely different than like doing it present day.
Yeah, it's able to take you out of the present day, but focus on issues of the present day through a lens of fiction.
Right, and the original Star Trek did this
All the time.
all the time with civil rights.
Civil rights, Cold War type of stuff, racism.
Right, racism.
I loved that they brought the continuity that in Enterprise's time,
Mm-hmm.
the Orion females were the ones in charge.
Right.
And this episode mentions that between Enterprise and the original series, there was a civil war, and the Orion males came back into power over the females.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I like that they tied Enterprise in.
Mm-hmm.
And did you guys catch this in the first scene of the episode when Kirk is reading a book and
Yes.
he's like kind of adjusting back and
Yeah.
forth, and that hints to the future when in the movies McCoy gives him reading glasses.
Right.
I love that touch.
Huh.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, yes.
Yep.
That was a great detail that they put in there.
It was. I noticed it as well, and I was like, oh, he can't get that pill to fix his eyes.
Right, the Rhinox or whatever that is.
Yeah, Ranex something.
Yeah,
Something like
whatever.
that.
But yeah, because he's allergic to it, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. It shows that like these guys know their stuff.
Right.
They do. They really do. And I thought the makeup was spot on too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the green Orions and even the costuming, everything was reflective of what we've seen before in the original series.
Yeah, especially when Lolani does that costume change, is in that like flowing kind of like a robe kind of thing. That was definitely 60s.
That was definitely a 60s Star Trek future style thing that they did.
Yep.
And I really like that they did an episode with Orions, because even though the original series were the ones who invented the Orions, we only saw them like 3 times in the original series.
Right.
And they were never really the focus.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until Enterprise that we got a real focus on their culture and who they were and their ships and that kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah, the only other time I ever remember hearing Orions was in the Star Trek, the Starfleet Command series of games.
Yes.
Where they have the
remember
Orion pirate ships.
Yeah.
And that's the only other time I remember hearing about them.
But we had always heard Orions kind of mentioned in the background, like in Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm.
They would say, oh yeah, these are like Orion spices or whatever. So they were always like wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but we never saw them a lot, except in the original series and then Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that they're kind of fleshing that out, at least with this series.
Yeah, I'm eager to see their third production because it's already a go, it seems. They already have it planned, which is awesome.
What did you guys think about the character of Lolani herself?
I haven't seen too much of episodes for the Orion slave girls
Mm-hmm.
in the original series, but I thought she did a pretty good job not knowing what
Orion slaves were.
Exactly.
Well,
For not knowing what they were.
I think it still does a pretty good job of explaining to you who they are, and like mentioning the pheromones and all that. Even if you never saw Star Trek with Orions, this was still a good introduction to their culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of thought that it was weird that after Dr. McCoy gave them the antidote thingy,
The inoculation?
Yes, the inoculation, that the crewman, what was it, Kenway? The one in
Kenway.
red, was still like in awe with her.
Yeah, I think he actually really liked her.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of like Kirk's comment to McKenna, where he said, well, he was inoculated too, right?
Right. That's what
he excused himself because he couldn't handle that she went back to them.
Yeah, I thought the ending scene was powerful with Kirk and Kenway.
Yeah.
And I like that whole interaction, and I really liked when Kirk activated the recording to go ship-wide. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that every console would have just one switch to, let's broadcast this to the whole ship, why don't we? Bam. But, it's the original series, and they only had, switches and knobs. So, I mean, that's fine, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
I thought the most powerful message of this episode was that even though she was abused and all of that, in the end she took action and she took a stand, and she was willing to sacrifice her life for her freedom and possibly the future freedom of everyone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at the heart, that's what makes this such a great Star Trek episode.
Right.
Not just Star Trek Continues. I could totally see them doing this in the 60s. So I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was good. I liked it.
And they kind of leave it open what Kenway's going to do, but he has the recording, so he might, who knows, lead the fight for Orion,
Slave girls.
like emancipation.
Right. And it was very interesting also seeing Starfleet in this and them really trying to take the diplomatic way. And it's like, and that whole prime directive non-interference of cultures, especially because they're not a member race of the Federation. And, the Commodore Gray being very strict, like, we gotta respect their laws, we have to respect their traditions, you have to hand them over. And that Kirk, even if she didn't blow herself up, he was willing to risk, his career for these ideals. And I thought that was... I thought it was very powerful because it's that moral dilemma that often presents itself in Star Trek. And Kirk has to make the decision. He's always the one left with that big decision. So to see him weigh his options and, try to take matters into his own hands, it just plays from what we've seen constantly in the original series and from Kirk.
Right. And we've seen these kind of moral dilemmas, at least in the Next Generation, where the Prime Directive is followed a little bit more strictly, where Picard is talking to, I believe it's usually Dr. Crusher, about non-interfering.
Right.
So I mean, right when that was going on, it kind of drew me to the Next Generation. I don't know if Vic has a fancy for either series more than another, but I feel like he's just pulling in from the best of every series and wrapping it in.
Yeah, and that you bring up a good point. Like, he's bringing in the moral dilemma and more of the controversy from Next Generation and bringing the classic storytelling of the original series and then pulling things from what we've seen before, like in Enterprise with the Orions. And I like that. It feels like a more cohesive universe, especially when they start tying all these things. And that's one of the great things about Star Trek is that continuity and that history, because they have so much to tell with what we've already been shown. And I like that they're expanding the universe that way.
Yeah, because there is a lot of time between the last episode of TOS and then the motion picture.
Yeah, I think it's something like 5 or 10 years. It's
something like that.
Yeah, they did a pretty significant jump. I think it was 5 years, but still, there's a lot of time there.
Yeah, a lot can happen in 5 years.
And I like that they're trying to bridge that gap, and especially little things like Kirk, not being able to read his book clearly. That's a good sign to me, and I hope they continue to keep going with this series.
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. There's nothing stopping them.
Right.
Yeah, I almost want CBS and Paramount to just pick this up already and, make this a TV series, because that would be awesome.
It would be cool if they did something like a Netflix show.
Yeah, or maybe throw some more money their way and produce some more episodes a bit faster. Pay these guys, and make it a Netflix exclusive. I think that'd be awesome. That way, we're not waiting 6 months between episodes or more.
Right. Yeah, they flushed this second episode out pretty fast.
Really quickly. They filmed it in November 2013.
Yeah. And
it premiered in February. So that's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, and their first episode was just this past summer, right?
I think it was a little bit more than that.
Oh, really?
I think maybe it was last spring or so. But there was a definite gap between the first one and the second one. Well, no, I mean, we talked about it last year.
Yeah.
So whenever that first episode was.
Yeah. So it wasn't that long, but it seems long because you're Star Trek fans are used to a series that produces new episodes every week.
Every week, yeah.
And then we're like waiting and waiting
But
waiting.
It take a while, to make an episode.
Especially when it's a labor of love.
Yeah.
And there's no actual money coming in except through Kickstarters or other fundraisers.
Yeah, and they're taking their own time out of their busy schedules to do this.
Exactly.
So, I would love for them to for CBS to just pop down some money and say, okay, do 10 episodes, we'll put on Netflix or whatever. I think that'd be amazing. But even if they don't get that, this series is worth the wait. If the episodes are this quality, yeah, I can wait 3 or 4 months for another one.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have other jobs to do.
Like real jobs?
Yeah.
Yeah, like other acting jobs and yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But we have so many other fan productions that are coming out right now.
Yeah, Renegades, Axonar, Phase 2 continues. Yeah, there's a lot out there.
Yeah, so there's something for everyone, and soon every
era.
Every era, exactly.
Right.
So that's gonna be cool. I'm excited for Renegades because it's set in the TNG or post TNG era.
Yeah, the post Nemesis era, which it's gonna be great.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Axonar, which is pre-TOS.
Which is that's an era that we don't see a lot of at all.
Right.
So I like that it's covering the gap a little bit between Enterprise and the original series. So that's gonna be great.
It will be. So yeah, what would you rate this episode from, I don't know, 1 to 10?
1 to 10, I definitely give it a 9.
A 9. Ashley?
I don't know. I liked it a lot. Probably
Just say 9. 1 to 10.
or 10-ish.
9 to 10-ish?
Yeah.
9.5.
9.5, there you go.
I think I would give it a 9 as well, even though I don't really care for the original series all too much.
Lame.
See how lame he is?
The story is what's getting me.
Yeah.
It's the story that makes me like it so much, not the characters so much. It's the story. Like,
you like
if this
her.
was Picard, Data, and we had...
God.
No, I think this completely works as an original series story.
Oh, no, it does. It does. But I think you could have it in every...
Yeah, I'm sure you could, but
Era.
it wouldn't be as good as what we got. Boom.
I suppose not. I suppose not. I did like how you wouldn't see Picard attack this Lieutenant
Oh my God!
Ryan.
And can we get an amen for the Kirk infamous dropkick that we got?
Yes!
That was awesome.
The Kirk foo makes a return, and I loved it.
Yeah.
That's typical Kirk doing launching himself with both feet. I love that. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yes, Kirk foo is back.
Yeah, that was awesome. I thought the camera cuts were great during that scene.
I really like, on a technical standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
I like that the frame rate or the aspect ratio is 4:3, like the original series.
Yeah.
It's not widescreen. It's like, here's the box.
Yeah, so it's like, you watch the last episode of Star Trek, the original series, whatever episode that was. Actually, was it the one with the guy from Axonar?
Yes.
What was that episode? I forget the name of the episode. I watched that episode.
Right.
But after that
And
episode...
it bridges the gap. They have they have kind of like a supplemental episode that bridges the gap between the original series, that last scene of the last episode, and their current production.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, we can just watch this all the way through.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is awesome. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think it's a good transition. So where can people watch Star Trek Continues?
So you can watch this at StarTrekContinues.com.
They also have it on YouTube.
On the YouTube, yeah, if you just Google...
I searched Star Trek Lulani. It was the first thing that popped up. So.
Yeah, there you go. Star Trek Continues.
There you
Lulani.
go.
And actually, yeah, the quality is great on YouTube.
Oh, it's excellent. It's full HD.
Yeah, watched it on my TV.
They've already got over 100,000 views on it.
It's
They
crazy.
got 40,000 views in the first 3 days that it was on YouTube.
Moving on to the next section of the show, the subspace channels.
Open hailing frequencies.
And go. What?
That's
I knew what you were doing, Aaron.
Wait. Ready?
Nice.
There
Where did
we
that
go.
come from?
And it's opened.
that's from my little
Oh, yeah.
Star Trek TOS door chime.
I've got the communicator chirp as my text message thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then when it calls, it has the open hailing frequencies when I receive a call.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. So the question, what is your favorite Star Trek fan film? So turning to Reddit, I actually asked this question a couple months ago on Reddit.
Oh, all right.
So this is the answer from username Kilroy's_amusement. I think I like Star Trek Continues the best. It seems like the writing and acting was pretty well done. I agree. That's
Yeah, Lolani.
Yes.
well,
Oh, the first one.
yeah, the first one, but it continues into the second one, as we could see from.
Yeah, the quality is there.
Oh, I haven't seen the first one.
What?
You didn't see it.
He didn't show it to me. This dude.
Aaron, come on.
She's
Dude.
not a Star Trek fan.
What?
Next up, we have username Deceptron.
Deceptitron.
Absolutely agree with Star Trek Continues. Though there are some untidy ends, in my humble opinion, essentially Bones and Sulu, but for the most part, they're more convincing than any other fan production I've seen.
Oh, interesting.
Next, username Action Flank Star Wreck.
Uh-oh.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it, Star. But username, wow, I'll spell this out because I don't think I can say phonetically.
Snetic.
Yeah.
Snetic.
Snettik.
Snetic.
As a kid, I loved that movie, and I put in parentheses Star Wreck, even though I've never seen an episode of actual Star Trek. It was made during a long period of time, and I think the first half isn't so great, but it's
awesome.
Yep. And then put edit. The translation seems to be clunky.
Okay.
In the Star Wreck, it's not filmed in English.
So it's a foreign production.
It's a foreign production, yeah. I've seen it once, and it's a parody of Star Trek.
Oh, so it's not like in the current universe. It's a parody.
It's a parody. I believe, a TNG parody. I think it revolves around data and time travel. It's been a long time since I've seen this. I don't really recommend it.
I'm kind of clicking around.
Yeah.
They cross over with Babylon 5? What is this?
I don't know. It's been years. The first time I saw it was when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a long time since I've seen it. I only vaguely remember it. But
Interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, really. What pops in my brain when I'm thinking about this movie or this fan production is Iron Sky, for some reason.
Oh, God. And that was horrible.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Moving on,
we have username L_Reverso. If you haven't seen Star Trek Aurora, I highly recommend it. It gets a little cheesy one or two times, but the ending was rather emotional, even if it was reminiscent of the ending of Contact with Jodie Foster. All in all, this one has been my favorite.
Interesting.
I've never seen this production.
Me neither.
Neither have I.
Maybe I have. I feel like there's a green screen involved.
Oh, no, I'm looking at it. It's fully animated. It's all 3D animated.
Really? Oh, then I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Well, I would have to give it a look. El Reverso, thanks for bringing it to my attention. And we'll check it out.
I like this next one. Can I say the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fuzzy Beard! Yay! He says, or she says,
Wow!
I hope it's not a she.
I hope not either. That would be horrible.
He says, my pick has has been Star Trek New Voyages Phase 2, hands down. The acting, costuming, set design, and special effects are all first rate.
I have to agree with him. New Voyages was kind of the first of the major Star Trek productions, fan productions, and they have quite a few episodes under their belt.
Right.
So that's one I highly recommend.
Yep, and they changed where they had their animations done because I guess they didn't like some of almost the cartoony representation of how the Enterprise could fly.
Yeah, they definitely changed it because in the first couple episodes, it's like, pew, like it's too like, pew.
Yeah,
it's video gamey.
Yeah, and I think there was the one with the Guardian Forever. It looked kind of cheesy.
But the stories are really good.
Yeah, no, the stories were great. It was
and everything has improved. The effects, everything. Yeah, it's good.
Totally.
And they get a lot of prior Star Trek actors to do guest spots. There's one that brought back Walter Koenig as Chekhov. Mm-hmm. And it's like he evolved into an older version, which is played by Walter Koenig. Like there's some aging.
Right. There was some aging thing, and it became him. And they had one with George Takei.
And Nichelle Nichols as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to watch all these shows since you guys know more than me.
It's a big Star Trek universe out there.
I guess so. I guess I'm a late bloomer.
There's still time.
There's always time for Star Trek.
And last, from Reddit, first of the last.
How appropriate.
How appropriate indeed. In so many ways, Insurrection was a fan film.
What?
The special effects budget was low, which I don't believe it was.
No.
The acting was obviously, this is this person's opinion.
Oh yes.
The acting was mediocre. Thematically, it broke no new ground, and much of the story rehashed plot points of earlier episodes. Isn't everything? The characters didn't develop, and in some ways they regressed. Data doesn't have the emotion chip anymore. Riker shaves the beard and gets back together with Troy. So I would say Insurrection is my favorite fan film.
Well, then he says, what about you guys? Well, since you asked a question, I think you're wrong, man. First of the last. Star Trek Insurrection is not a fan film. It's a fully realized movie production with Jonathan Frakes as director, and it was just as good as movie as any of the other movies. It may have felt... I agree, it may have felt more like an episode rather than a movie, but even as a Star Trek Next Generation episode, it's a damn good episode.
Right, it would be a good episode of The Next Generation.
Yeah, so to say that Insurrection is a fan film, I think that's wrong.
It's a little much, yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, first of the last, but...
Yeah, cool name, though. I like your name.
Yeah.
So moving on to email, our good friend Clive Burrell answered our question. And
you want me to take this one?
If you would like to, sure.
Sure. So we love Clive. We think he's awesome, and he gives very detailed opinions, so we will read his. He said, we've covered Phase 2, Continues, Equinox, Axanar, Renegades, and Futures recently on some kind of Star Trek, which is his website.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they all have their unique and wow selling points that could make every single one a success. The thing we're facing is a flooded marketplace where more titles are battling for our attention through YouTube, Facebook, and the like. It's great, but at the moment, and until we see some physical evidence from Prelude to Axanar and Renegades, it's really all talk, and we can firmly say it's a straight fight between Phase 2 and Continues. Personally, I love both and have difficulty choosing. However, Phase 2 is always being let down in post-production, He cites the Holiest Thing and the Katoomba episodes, which I disagree. Katoomba was the one where Vic Mignogna plays a Klingon, and they travel to Kronos, and there's a lot episode that features on the Klingon homeworld. And sure, it looks a little bit green screeny in spots, but it still looks really good. So, anyways, I'm kind of digressing. Where he says, whereas Continues has hit its air dates with style. I might not be the biggest fan of Lilani, but at its heart, it's true original series in every way. And my feeling is that it will become recognized as the production to beat if it continues, no pun, to head in the direction it has with these 2 episodes. Phase 2, I would be very scared. Filming episodes that were never originally made may not save you unless you sort these production issues out. I think it's recoloring this time. And then Clive provides links to his articles on his website, so we'll include those in the show notes. So thank you, Clive, for your great analysis on those 2 productions. And I have to disagree with him to a point. Even though Axanar and Renegades, we haven't actually seen finalized videos from them,
Right.
I don't think it's all talk. I've seen the behind the scenes of Renegades. It looks amazing. It looks like movie quality sets and makeup and all of that. And I think Axanar is going to be just as good, if not better. So yeah, we may not have seen a fully realized production from them, but everything I've seen in pre-production and behind the scenes, they both look really good.
Yeah, the trailer for Renegades makes me want to see it.
Yeah.
So I'm eager to see it. And for those of you out there, check out the Renegades Facebook page, because they're also posting, behind-the-scenes photos and production stills, some
concept artwork.
Yeah, exactly. Concept artwork of their new ship that they designed.
And the ship looks amazing. So, yeah, I can't wait. I'm very excited for all the new Star Trek productions coming out. And I don't agree with him in that it's a flooded marketplace.
I don't either.
Because a lot of these episodes take so long to produce, they kind of fill in the gaps of time.
Right. They're not all coming out at once.
Right. Yeah, if they were all releasing this winter or something, then I'd say, yeah, whoa, too much. Right. But it seems with all their different schedules, it kind of gives us this constant stream of fan-produced Star Trek, which I think is great. I think it's a great time to be a Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
Aha!
So Ashley's getting in the game.
She is.
Right time.
Woohoo!
In the woohoos. There's been more woohoos in this episode than any other episode of the Escape Podcast.
Yeah.
Combined. Yeah.
That's saying something.
So thank you all for listening. That's it for this week.
Yay!
Join it. Woohoo!
No woohoo? Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, fine! Woohoo!
Eric, if we wanted to follow you on Twitter, how can we follow you?
You can follow me at TrekkieB47, and you can also check out my other podcast at Ranger Command PH.
What's the PH stand for?
Power Hour.
Oh.
Jinx.
Come on, you've listened to the show. Come on, Ash.
Oh.
No, she hasn't.
I have, though. Ashley.
I'm sorry.
I don't care.
You're getting a lot of listens anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So, Ashley, if we wanted to follow you on Twitter, what is your handle?
At LilCuteGirl86.
Yes, so Lil.
Girl. 86.
Oh, Lord.
And
now I'm going to have so many other followers.
No, not really.
Whoa, hey now. And then, Aaron, if people want to read your amazing tweets.
You can follow me at Nova Charter.
Woohoo!
Woohoo, indeed. So So until next time, we'll see you later. Keep on trekking.
Woohoo!
By Riker's Beard.
By Riker's Beard.
You have been listening to the Starfleet Escape Podcast on the Four-Eyed Radio Network, where you can catch a new episode every other Monday. You can find us on the web at sfescapepod.com. Follow us on Twitter at sfescapepod. Like us on facebook.com/sfescapepod. And add us to your circle on Google Plus by going to google.sfescapepod.com.
This has been another great presentation by the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You can find more information at foureyedradio.com.